Good morning. This is Atzla Kamama, and today I wanted to make a short video kind of inspired by Sandy and its following nor'easter, as well as the fact that winter's approaching, and oftentimes if there's a bad time of the year for the power to go out, that's when it'll be, but that's when most of our power outages occur. So it's always good to be ready. So I wanted to share with you that it is possible to prepare for such an event on very little money. Some of my items here we've purchased in the past that we keep around that may be a little expensive if you're not expecting to spend the money, but are well worth having when you have the money and time to invest in it. The first item here is a rechargeable flashlight. This can charge by way of solar or crank, and it also includes a radio. A radio is extremely important in case there are emergency weather broadcasts or your local government needs to make you aware of anything, evacuations or anything. You definitely need a radio and a flashlight. You can also buy those radio flashlights that have a solar charger on them as well. I'm thinking about investing in one of those actually. If you don't have the money or time for that, dollar store at the Dollar Tree. Got this flashlight, just a push button flashlight. $1 each. I have several of those. Always have batteries on hand. These are Sunbeam batteries, and I actually got these at the Dollar Tree as well. $1 for, I believe it was 8 of them. Next on the agenda we have candles. Now if you have a small child, I would be very cautious with these, but as for myself and my husband, and my daughter's a teenager, so we're mindful. But use these only in stationary places, like say the back of the sink in the bathroom so you can see what you're doing, or far back on a kitchen counter, something like that. And of course with the candles you gotta have a lighter, and I have several different lighters, but make sure you've got at least one of these on hand with the long end on it. I learned the hard way that you can't use matches or a regular cigarette lighter when you've got the deep candles and they've burned down quite a bit. I learned that the hard way during a different storm one year. And then, as I said, this is an item here that's obviously more than $1. It's a propane camp stove. This is something that I would recommend having on hand, no matter what. Also, it's very convenient where if you feel like you want to go out for a picnic one day, or there's a family outing or something, it's really handy to have. And always make sure that you have your fuel. In this case, mine takes propane. If you don't have the money or time for that, at the dollar store, Dollar Tree, they sell these little sterno stoves. $1 a piece. They're very simple to use. And you can actually put one of these down in a coffee can and use it as a heat source in an emergency. Again, this is something you're going to want to watch the little kids around. Then, as we mentioned, children or whatever, or even adults get bored. So I got some, word finds, some cards. Board games would be good for little kids, crayons and a coloring book. Just something to keep people occupied, especially in a stressful situation, something to keep your mind off of, what's going on. Also very important, and as we've learned from our pioneer ancestors, you must have proper hygiene, especially when preparing food. Hand sanitizer, wet wipes for wiping off. Absolutely, keep your hands clean, please. Spread, that's how diseases spread. And again, foodborne, waterborne illnesses. I tell you what, there'd be nothing worse than during a power outage and having your, no, thank you. Now, as far as we move to food, there's several different things that you can do. The easiest and cheapest way is just to simply use old soda bottles or milk, well-washed milk gallon jugs. Fill them up with water, change the water about once a week. Yeah, it's a little more time-consuming than buying, but a whole lot cheaper. If you want to buy bottled water, the dollar store sells these jugs for $1 a piece. Now, as far as groceries are concerned, my favorite store is Aldi. In some areas of the country, they haven't really hit yet, but basically, they pass their savings on to consumers by having everybody bring their own grocery bags, and also there's a program where you put the quarter into a slot in the cart. You get your cart, when you're done shopping, you put it back and get your quarter back. That's sort of a way to kind of to deter theft of carts. And so they pass those savings on to you in that way. One thing I've noticed people doing is they buy cans of condensed soup, which I think for an emergency situation may not be a good idea, because if the water, your water source is contaminated, and you have to boil your water, you're probably going to want to save your sanitized water for drinking. So I would recommend something that's prepared straight out of the can, like beef stew or spaghetti and meatballs, or well, these vegetables are always good to have on hand, because if you've got rice or macaroni or dry goods, you're towards the end of your it's an extended time and you're towards the end of your stuff. It kind of helps the meal a little bit. The ramen noodles, yes, they do use water, true, but I get 12 packs of these for $1.79, so they're always good to have on hand. And you'll see I have a small saucepan on top of there, and the reason being is, and some people may not think about it, but you want to use as little of your cooking fuel as possible. So you want to choose the smallest pan you possibly can, because it'll heat up the fastest. It'll start boiling the fastest. So it's always good to have a small, cheap saucepan on hand. I think you can get a saucepan at big box mart for probably a couple bucks or so, maybe $5. But anyway, that's what I've got in case there's a power outage. When you see these people freezing out in New York, it really makes you really think that could be me this winter if I'm not ready. So anyhow, I hope everyone has a great day, and I'll talk with you later.